All righty. Happy 4th of July. It is our treasonous day. We declared to the king and said, no. No, thank you. We want to be on our own. That was back in 1776 on the July of 4th. So, the country has been kind of semi-quiet, I guess you could say, for the last couple of days, last 3 days, of course. But definitely yesterday was a slow, steady, you could see, I didn't put up the intraday chart. I'm putting it up now. It's collecting it up and collecting the data, and it just is just very soft. It'll load when it does load. And you can see on the dollar index, you can see like a red bar there on Hinky Ashky on yesterday. And today it's the same way, and we've got the yellow at 64, and we've got the green, or the fast-moving stochastic at 49. Excuse me. So pretty much a quiet start, without a doubt. Now yesterday it was exciting. We had everybody jumping in. Janos was jumping in, and we had everybody jumping in. Wimbledon was starting. We were having a fun time yesterday. It was nice. We were really talking about some interesting stuff. We looked into, we talked about a concept, basically, is not knowing full trades and understanding what it all means. In other words, there's times where the media comes out and tells you somebody bought X amount of calls, X amount of futures, X amount of stock, or just some X amount of puts or whatever. They tell you they only know one side of the trade. They don't know all of it. And let's see, where are we up here? Let's see. There we go. So that's pretty much what it comes down to at this point, and that is that I'm trying to find the title now. Skype wants me to reload, and I guess I gotta reload, and we'll see how that goes. And so install. There we are. So I'm trying to see the title. Oh, let me put my ID in there. And so anyway, that's pretty much where we stand today. Matter of fact, you can see here with the euro up on Chicago Quan, it's kind of quiet and there's not a lot of action to it. It's just slow and steady. And that's usually the way it works with a big holiday like this. This is probably between Christmas and this is it. This is the biggest, probably Thanksgiving too. There's another one. Thanksgiving is a big American holiday. Starts off on a Thursday. We get half days on Fridays from it. I mean, it's very prolific, I guess you could say. Very, very classic. And so that is the story in the end. Okay, I'm just trying so I can see if Janos texts me, because they're saying I need to update. There we go. So, okay, done. Cool. So now let's see what it does. And there we are. Okay, there we are. And yesterday's title was, now I'm able to get back to it. Let's see. Tuesday, there it is. And the title yesterday was, what's long or short mean? That's what we really looked into. We really were questioning that. What is long or short really mean? And I thought that was, due to the fact that the media, or, financial media comes out and tells people like, oh, guess who is long, or Warren Buffett bought this, or Warren Buffett sold that. You don't really know if that really means, ever since, I stopped myself, ever since 1976, basically. A little before that, the summer of 75, when they legalized options, okay, listed, what they officially it's called legalizing listed options. In other words, they could be listed on an exchange again instead of backed by a brokerage house. Once they did that, it changed the whole world. What they call in mathematics the zero-sum factor. And so, as we always try to explain it here, it always came down to, let's say you had a deck of cards. There were 52 cards in the deck. And if you were playing some type of game, obviously more than 52 people could only play it because everybody got a card. And that was it. So one card apiece. Or if you were playing a game where everybody gets 5 cards, well then obviously if we had 10 people playing, there would be no cards to be given out after that. And so the zero-sum factor means is that it removes that. In other words, you can have 1 million people using the 52 cards, and you break the cards up into slices. So there's options in a sense. And so that's what it's really all about. And that is that once they created these things going into 1976, just 200 years after 1776, what happened was is that it opened the doorway for someone to buy a stock, and it didn't mean they were going to be long. They might have been short calls. So now they were flattening out. Maybe they were buying stock and buying puts. And the problem is that the media doesn't always pick up the whole story. They only pick up a slice of the story. And so they tell you that something's going on when in fact they've only told you half of what's going on. And so yesterday someone had mentioned that there was like $1 million or $1 million worth of options bought on a particular product. I forget what it was. And I said, yeah, but you just don't know what the other side was. You don't know if they bought, they already owned the stock. You don't know if they were short calls. You don't know. All you know is that they just did one side of the trade. And you don't know what all the trades they did out of that position, that specific position. So then it made me go into a conversation about, let me go back to the title of it again. Made me go into a conversation of, what is long or short mean? That's what it really came down to. What does it really mean? And we went through it, and that's pretty much it. Now, what is this? It's still not updating, so maybe I have to add a day to it. Let's see what happens here. Settings. Make it 3. Let's see if it does it then. Wow. Let's make it 4 and see what happens. I guess it's still loading. Is it still loading? Must be still loading. So 4 would be Saturday. Let's make it 5. This way we definitely know that it's all the way back to last Friday. Alright. We'll let it fill in as time goes on. Alright, so let's go back to in this case, I don't know if it was in the dollar index or what. I forget where it was, but someone mentioned it and we responded to it. So let's do this instead. We're just going to do a simple run and gun of what's going on unless someone shows up. Like I said yesterday, I was so excited. We had lots of people involved and interested in asking questions, so I was really excited. Doc always likes that. And then we went and looked at products that we had not seen in a long time. And so that makes me even more excited because I'm doing it live in front of you. And I think that's even more exciting than anything else. A market technician, newsletter, writer, trader extraordinaire, doing it live, raw, not guaranteed to be right. Only through the math are we right. And you never know. And so that makes me so excited there alone because we showed all the great wins our math did. So, all right. So let's go back to the dollar index, and we'll go right there. That's Bitcoin there, and there is the dollar index right there. September contract. You see, it's pretty dead right now. They're not really doing anything. You can see our math is trying to roll over, trying to get into the sell. Our weekly is already in the sell. So we'll see how they do on Wednesday because the markets then might be back to life again. And let's see. Let's put it up over here. You see the same situation. And just for the fun, we'll take a look at what the weekly says on J4X. And you see the same situation is there too. It's been in days and days and in a sell. There is 3 reds. Actually, it's trying to get into a green hinky as we speak. And the yellow, the slow stochastic itself right here is at 33.17. And the fast is trading at 35 on a weekly basis. So like you see it here on Chicago Quant, and let's point that out where you see it. right here, you can see that the dotted line is getting through the 0 line, just like this is doing the same thing right here on a weekly basis, and it's trying to turn up. So we'll see what they do to the dollar index over a day or two. I heard that was it the Royal Bank of Australia did not raise its rates, and so we're going through. Hey, Janos, can you look at the yen? Yeah, let's see what the yen's up to. Let's go over to J4X. We'll check out yen, dollar yen. And we mentioned before, I think it was yesterday we mentioned it, how we had people looking at GBP, JPY, and Euro JPY, and then compared it to dollar JPY. And wow, the dollar is well underperforming the other two currencies. It's interesting. All right, let's go to Chicago Quant, and let's go check it out right there. And there it is. It's gaining a little bit against the dollar as we speak. And the weekly's been in that weekly buy, obviously, since right there, since mid-April, later April, something like that. And the fast has been in there since April 12th, right there. Where's the 0 line? Let's move that 0 line down. There's the 0 line right there. So there is the dollar yen, and let's contract it a little bit so you can see it better. And then let's take a look at the other two currencies to see the way they're performing. Let's see, and let me show you when we go back. You see up in here, see that it hasn't taken out that high of October, November of last year. Now let's take a look at Euro. Let's see, where's it at? Euro JPY. Well, let's just do this one first. There it is. There is GBP JPY, and look at this. And we'll go back to the beginning of the year, and isn't that interesting? How underperforming. That's the high. Let's see, where's it at? Right here. That's the high right there. Whereas on the dollar, and we'll show it to you again, on the dollar one, it hasn't pierced that area of October, November of last year, which is interesting. So the dollar is underperforming against the yen compared to the euro and the GBP. Now let's go find euro. There's Euro Zloty. Let's do this. We'll put it in here. No, EuroCAD. Let's do it in EuroCAD. Activate. And it's impressive to see the strength in the other two currencies. Let's just fix that. There it is right there. And I go like so. And there we are. And there it is there. Let's give it a little spin. And there is the high of October, November of last year. And look how high up it is. That high was in the 47s. It's at 57. It's basically 10 handles above. When looking at the GBP JPY right there, that high in there is the 172 area. And right now we're trading in the 183 area. So we're 11 handles ahead. So the cable's outperforming the best. The euro is right behind it. And then we go and look at the dollar again. Right there. And I just tighten that up a little bit more. You can see it's underperforming enormously. The high there was 150, I guess it is, 151. Almost 152, and right now we are trading at 144. So that's 8 handles lower. It's underperforming. I find that to be interesting. We did a webinar on this about a week ago. I thought that was totally fascinating, the fact that the dollar in different ways is underperforming, not overperforming. And that is the magic of it all. How's that, Janos? Interesting or what? I think it's fascinating. Really, catches my imagination. What is it trying to tell us? That the dollar is not performing as well as the euro and the British pound on a global basis. It's still strong, but just less strong. Our money supply has contracted dramatically. We're back to 2008 money supply right now. So that could be an influence on it because they keep on sucking up all the cash and trying to slow our economy down. That's the objective, is to slow the economy down so that they can get rid of some of the inflation. I'm just thinking, how long will this decline of the yen continue? I know. I was really surprised when it got through the 138 area. That really did surprise me. When I saw, you see it up on J4X, you were at 144 and change now. I really didn't think we were going to see past the 138s. I really didn't. I thought, okay, it'll hit that and back off. And then when we didn't do that and watched it climb and climb and climb, I started wondering. And, we went to 35-year highs back in October and November of last year. 35-year highs. Back when the Nikkei was trading at 39,000 and it was trading at 1.5 and 165 and stuff like that, the yen against the dollar. Now, we've seen it go the opposite way. And right now, it's losing against everybody. And that's the more curious thing. Why is it underperforming even worse with England? Why is it underperforming worse with the European Union? I think that's interesting. I think that, we talked about it yesterday. There's serious considerations going on with the new president of the Bank of Japan. And he's kind of insinuated, he said, hey, I'm going to be looking at this for the next 3 to 6 months and might even be looking at it as much as a year from now to make a new policy change. That's what he said. So when he made that statement, that really, kind of shook it up, I guess. We saw it run all the way up to 151. Also, the 151 was part of the Credit Suisse problem, too. Because we made it very clear when we looked at all the currencies, we saw two currencies acting in lockstep with each other. They were following each other closely. And that was the saltine, the Swiss saltine or Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. Both were underperforming dramatically. They both lost like 10, I guess it was the Swiss lost about 11% over that period of time until they resolved the Credit Suisse problem, and the dollar yen, it also lost, but it lost even more. It went from like 115 to 151. So it literally had like a 25-30% move, which is a big move, especially for it being, in many ways, the Japanese economy is anywhere in the top 3 economies of the world. So it's like the United States, then it's the European Union, and then from the European Union, it's the Japanese, Japan itself. From there, it goes to Great Britain. From there, it goes to Canada, and then you can throw in all the littler ones, like Russia and China and like that. The only difference is that China has a lot of cash flow because they manufacture a lot of things, but overall, their economy is fixed to the what do they call that? The yuan unit. And so the yuan unit doesn't float. I mean, if it floated, would it go the way of the ruble? One day it's at 7, the next day it's at 12. Where's their GDP then? The ruble went from like 4 to all of a sudden it went to 9, and then went to 13, in a matter of months. And, imagine that's 3 times. I've said, there's a chance that we will see a 21 Chinese yuan. And where will the economy then be? It'll be only a quarter or a third of what it is. And that's the big question is that really where it's at now? I'd have to say yes. If it wasn't for the Americans buying goods from China, the Chinese economy would be really deep in the hole. They reduced the dollar deposit rates for two times. Yeah, and they want their population to drop the dollar and go with the yuan. Yeah, but exactly. And did you see how Saudi Arabia treats that? Saudi Arabia sold them oil in the yuan. Then they took the yuan and they went to Shanghai Exchange at the gold exchange there that's been open since 2002, which has very low volume. And they bought gold with the yuan, and then they transferred that. They have like 5 depositories of gold the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and then what they did is they moved the gold to Saudi Arabia. So in essence, it was really a dollars trade. They refused to sit there and hold the yuan. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. A perfect description of it. Immediately dumped the monopoly money. Exactly. Did I ever tell you I lived in Marvin Garden for a year when I went to college? Marvin Garden, like in Monopoly, because it was invented for right around here, Atlantic City. It was all the streets in Atlantic City. Yeah, that's something. You know, it's not me living there in my college years, but just the whole idea that they don't really have a currency. They only trade about 2.5% of world volume every day. If it wasn't for the Americans buying things from them, almost nobody would deal with the yuan. And I keep on running across, the information we get out of China is very slim. It's not very informative, but we keep on seeing economic issues that they have and problems that they have, and how they allow foreign investors to go bankrupt in their investments. And the problem is, I don't have the problem with bankruptcy. I have a problem with the fact that they bail out the domestic population and refuse to bail out the foreign investors. And then this is the biggest thing of all. Not that. I mean, that's that I'm upset about. I think that's bad, and it just shows an inability to understand, financial markets. But this is the thing that really bothers me about China overall, and that is that the amount of money to bail out the foreign investor is incredibly small. So in other words, it's not like they have to put out like $100 billion or 100 billion yuan or something like that. It's literally, it's like 20 million and 30 million. Evergrande, they allowed the foreign investors to lose money, and they bailed out all the domestic investors in it, and all it would have taken is like 30 or 40 $40 million, not billion. That's the thing, is why do they let something so dysfunctional occur? That doesn't give any confidence to foreign investors. Yeah, today's going to be flat. I mean, the holidays, our markets are dead. Let's see if I got an S&P. I don't even there we go. There's the is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's the you can see the action. I mean, look at it. It's trapped between, since this is Friday right here. That was Friday. Is that Friday? No. Where's Friday? Yeah, that's Friday. There's Friday right here. There is Friday right there. And this is yesterday. And this is today right here. 2 bars. That's it. And if it gets to 3 bars today or 4, I'll be surprised. It's a really dead. Yeah, I'm not sending charts out today. And go to U.S. indices are moving, but almost flat. Yeah, you can see how flat it is. This is Friday. There's Friday. And there is Monday. There's Monday. And here is today. That's it. That's the action. That is the action. Let's go take a look, and you can see the euro looks the same way. There's no real involvement. There's the euro right there. Oh no, that's the yen. Here's the euro. Here's the second largest economy in the world. And you can see the last 3 days it's turned into a small little triangle. It's trying to get into the buy. That's cool. Yeah, they're just dead. It's a dead action. I'm going to cut out of here in about 25 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. I mean, just, I'm going to go to a parade and enjoy the holiday and do all that stuff, But, I mean, that is the real action we're seeing. We're seeing nothing. Butt kiss. Nada. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. It's the holidays. So, in essence, what else can we say about anything? Let me see. There you are. All right, so there's the euro. Let's take a look at the cable. I'm sure the cable's looking the same exact way. Right there. That's a little firm there. Not bad. And then let's see. Let's put it up on J4X. Yeah, I'm looking at the yen there just as I go to move it, and I just don't have an opinion more than I was surprised it got through 138. At this point, I just have to assume that when we finally find out what is the real policy of the new chairman of the Bank of Japan, then we'll probably have a better understanding of what's going on. I think that's probably the way to best look at it, There's the British pound. You can see the last 2 days it's trying to lift up, also doing a fine job on J4X, just the way we are right there. Same thing, a couple days in the buy. And, it's trying to lift up, and we're in a weekly buy for going on a 5th week. So the strength is, there's interest. And it does seem that, I think we made that statement with the that webinar about when we looked at the 3 yen pairs trades, dollar, euro, and British pound. And without a doubt, those other 2 currencies, at the end of that webinar, I said, you've got to find ways to be long the euro and the GBP because it's a really good trade. You can see it. It just keeps on marching on the upside, just the same way the yen is doing. All right, from there, we'll take a peek at. Let's see, where is it at? We'll go to the Swiss. Let's go see what the Swiss looks like this morning. I expect to see the Swiss hang right to there. That's where I expect it. So that is the action of the Swiss. They've already had it. We saw the Swiss lose about 11%, 12% when Credit Suisse had problems, and then when they cleaned up that problem, Swiss moved back down about 13% in its favor. And it's, I don't really expect to see the Swiss franc against the dollar move any much more than down into the low 87s at best. That's what it seems like. It seems like that's the floor. It does seem like that's the floor. So. From there, we go over to, we saw the yen. That's what we were looking at. We'll just look at it one more time. Come on, yen. Dollar yen. Right there. There it is. And let's see what else we got going on here. There's dollar yen. And, just marching along. And we'll just show it to you again over here on Chicago. Chicano. There it is. It's actually a little bit firmer today against the dollar. Then we go over to the Turkish lira. I don't think they know how to take a vacation, but we'll see. Right there's the euro Turkish lira. It's kind of flatlined for the last 4 days. It looks like there. Let's see what we can find here. Right there. It's made a new all-time high today. So the new all-time high is 29. Oh wow, is that right? 29. We broke the 28. It's 29, 28, 72, almost 29, 29. And yesterday they got up to 29 even. We're watching for that 31, traders. We're thinking that it's going to do a 50 percentile was like 27, and we got through that with no problem. And once they did that, we figured 31 for sure, but we were looking for it down at 24, and it got up to the 27, and then now it's a 50 percentile from 21. Excuse me. So in other words, we look at the Turkish lira against the euro, and it was 21 euros to the Turkish lira. So then we take a 1/3 of that, which is 7, and that comes out to be 28. So it broke through the 27 area, closing in the 28, and here we are banging around in the 29s. So a half of that would be 10.5. So 10.5 with 21 and 21 is 31.5, almost 32. So we're figuring between 31 and 33, it's going to find a place to resist for a while up in there. So now today we've gotten to the all-time high of 29.29. So now we're just waiting to see what we're only talking now about a handle and a half. We get into 31 3/4 or something like that. 30 was that 71, 1.71 higher, and we've hit the 31 area, and we've been looking for that since 24. And when it held beyond the 27.5 area, we knew that it was really confirming that it was launching itself up into that strata. We'll see. And I guess the holidays are just making it even easier and sloppier. From there we slide over to we go to the King Peso. That's what we do. We go to the Mexican peso. Right. Where's that? Dollar peso. USD MX. There's dollar peso. We call that the major brick. It's the M brick. And so if we figure that it'll be the most powerful brick in the world. Then we figured the South African rand would be number 2. So that is the way we look at that. And you can see there we're at the lows of the product, which means it's gained against the dollar pretty well. That's what that's pretty much telling us. And from the what is that? That's the what is that? That's the what I call the major brick. From there we go over to the South African rand, and there's the South African rand. When it's going up, usually gold is going down, and vice versa. Now that the last couple of days we're seeing some strength. It's going, when it goes down, it's gaining against the dollar, and then when we go over to the futures contract, like so, you can see here it's been going up for the last couple of days. And the same thing over here on J4X. We'll put it up there. Probably have some daily greens looking very, very fine. Drinking the wine. Right there. There it is. You see 3 days of green. The strength is there. Wait a minute. That's gold. Yes, it's going up. That's right. It's supposed to go up. And that's what it's doing. What else can we say about any of these? So that's the gold. And then we go over to Canadian. And Canadian usually relates to oil. So we go and we look at the oil contract, the front month. You see it's up today, was down yesterday, pushed into a sell yesterday too. But a short day, illiquid. And so we're trying to get into a buy again right there as we speak. And with this type of action, it's more than likely. So from there, we go over to the currency itself. And since oil's been going up for, say, the last week, let's see if Canadian has been going down. That's usually what it does. It gains against the dollar by going down. Let's see, where are we at? Not there, not there, not there. Right there. And there's the Canadian right there. And you can see the Canadian is trying to go down for the last bunch of days after that wild, crazy pop here. Going after the daily, you can see that. And we've been in the weekly sell now for 7 weeks. Yeah, let's go back to the indices and see what they're doing. Deado. We got a second bar. That's cool. But it is dead. All right. Now, from there, look, the markets are open so that if someone needs to do something, they can do it. Now, obviously, is there enough volume to do it? That's the bigger question. I don't know if there's a lot of volume, but, you know, that's why they leave the markets open on days like today. They give the world a chance to participate if they need to do something. All right, from there we go to, we've done all the currencies, really, that we follow. So what we'll do is we'll take a peek at, where is it at? Take a look at silver. Go through the rest of the metals complex. There it is right there. And there's silver. Let's fix that. Must be on default setting or something. There we go. So you can see silver is just a little bit up. Closed on Friday in a buy. It's, you know, it's just inching up, nothing major. It's in the sell still, 3 weeks in the sell. So the pressure there, let's see, discovery features. Okay, just double checking, making sure nobody's asking anything. All right, I don't want to miss any questions. And then from there, we go over to copper. There's the September contract. Down a little bit today. Went into the buy on Friday also. You can see that strength there. And what else can we say about that? Not much, really. Metals complex is really dogged. In other words, it doesn't really have a lot of strength. It's tired. And then the last one is the platinum. You see platinum is trying to get into a daily buy today. The weekly is still well off of that action. And we usually like to see platinum get into a weekly buy before we take any action in respecting the signal of gold or silver. That's what the problem is that those two, when given a chance, will do basically nothing right. They just won't. They will not. Platinum seems to lead them, and at the same time, it is discounted by over, I don't know, what is it, $1,000? Platinum is trading $1,000 underneath the value of gold, which is definitely a freaky thing for gold bugs. And that's it. That completes the metals complex. So we go back to the energies, and you can see there the front month is at 70.99, and the back month is at 70.93. So they're discounting a little bit, and the front month is being bought probably for delivery issues. Because remember, it will go into delivery in about 15 days, something like that. And then let's put it up on, let's see what Brent looks like this morning. Brent, where are you, Brent? Brent, gas, bing, 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 bing. It's around here somewhere. There it is. There's Brent trading at 75.91. It's about $4 premium over, what was it, $5 premium over West Texas. So, and you can see we've been firm for the last bunch of days on the daily. And what else we got here? Let's see what the weekly looks like here. Here's the weekly. And you can see here crude is flirting with a weekly sell as we speak. Nothing too dramatic. And the front month is doing the same thing. It's just trying to break down a little bit. And we'll see how they take this. We'll see how they treat this over the next 3 days. That's really the answer to all of it in the end. Is once we get the holiday out of the way, which is going to be a little tough, but at least the markets will be much more open going into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Whereas basically Friday of last week was like I said over and over, it's going to be a 4-day weekend to us. And that's what it was, really. That's what was so nice about all the questions yesterday. I was so excited. Me so excited. All right, and then from there, let's put nat gas up there. Take a look at the weekly on natural gas. It's been in a buy for a couple of weeks now. There it is right there. There it is right there, nat gas. And you can see it's been in a weekly buy for going on a 4th week. And from the 260 area, the best we could do is get up to what, 280. What is that? That is 293, almost 294. So pushed up pretty well from the 240 to 260 area like that. We've been in a daily buy since 239 and change. So it's interesting to see the strength that's in there, but they're just not doing anything with it. And then you can see it on J4X the same way. What a big curve bottom. It stands out very clearly on the daily there for a week. The weekly, you can see there, same thing there on our weekly. And then let's go back to the daily. There it is right there. Couple days in a sell on Chicago, the J4X, and then on Chicago Quant, the August contract is in a buy for the last couple days. But both weeklies are lining up. They are lining up. Now, from there, we slide over to my favorite European stock, down in Spain, in Barcelona Exchange, and it's right there. It gives us an insight. We're hoping that it's below the 27, but I doubt it. And there's the stock at 27.5, basically a 51 bid at 54, and that's trying to tell us that the pressure is on the upside when it comes to natural gas in Europa. And I guess, you're having your blackouts, this and that, and issues, and, so forth and so on. And so that's where we stand with that. And it just keeps on rolling, doesn't it? And the beat goes on. And it doesn't stop. And what else? Let's see. Now, from what else can we say? There's natural gas, and there is the Spanish company. All right, so that pretty much ends us with the energy side of it all. And the front month and back month of the West Texas Intermediate is telling us that there's just a little pressure, not a lot, but just a little pressure on the product itself. All right, and then we'll take a look at the stock market, but there's no real action going on there either. So, and then we'll call it quits, unless someone wants to see something. And there's the S&P 500. You can see it has flatlined, and you can see we're in that weekly buy for like 15 or 16 weeks now, something like that, since April, the last week of March, first week of April. And you can see that pressure on in the daily right there. It's been in a buy for 5 days now. So that action is not going away. They're not willing to step back, and it'll be interesting to see if they reach for them again on Wednesday. That was a surprise. I mean, in the sense that I thought that we'd see some simple strength, and we were playing it, and it was fine. But what's really surprising is that they can't find a way to knock it down. And that's the interesting thing right there. All right. So we gotta have a title for this today. Holiday markets. I think that's the only way to describe it. A roundup of the holiday markets. It's like a cattle thing. Round up of holiday. There we are. And we're going to get out of here. So we got 48 minutes into it all. But there's not much more. I'm going to hang for a little bit to see if anybody... But at this point, doesn't seem like it. So, this is Doc from North America saying Happy Trails to you. Be right there. Hold on. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders. Have a safe and smart holiday. And we will catch you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Doc saying over and out.